Hello, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. This is Samuel, and this is brother Freddie and Robert.
Hey, buddy.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. So we didn't know about Samuel's diagnosis, like before he was born. He is basically, well, we thought as a child wonders in the beginning, and basically he was born premature, like in 33 weeks. And taking my microphone. Yeah, I had testicular placenta abruption, so we had to go to hospital. Like, Robert stayed at home with children. Samuel was born by emergency C-section, and he couldn't breathe at the beginning. So the hospital was saying they couldn't figure out why he couldn't breathe. So they were trying to put this, tube down his throat, but it wouldn't fit. So after a week, they moved him to Great Ormond Street Hospital, and they said he had like large trachea, and they did like proper diagnosis in there. They found he had like heart condition as well. He had already had HVFE, and we were told he will need surgery at about 3 or 4 weeks of age. Then he was moved back like to Barnet Hospital, and they did genetic testing because of his heart condition. We stayed at NICU for 3 months in total. We were told about when he was about 1 month old that basically I was like, we were taking turns because we were still continuing working as child mothers. We were hoping like Sunday will be discharged and just continue our business. So Robert's mom was like helping out, she was child mothers as well. So I used to go to hospital while Robert and the your mom they were looking after children. We were staying with me at NICU, and then when I was there, I was called to the office, by Dr. called Heather. She just came really seriously and said, we need to go to the office, we need to talk now. Do you want to go call your husband first, or you have to go on your own? I was like, okay, go by myself. Oops, sorry. Yeah, and basically she said, she gave me a diagnosis that Samuel has partial trisomy 13. She said he's the first patient in Barnet Hospital. They never basically heard about the diagnosis, or she doesn't know. She said she had to Google it up herself. And he said, whatever you do, don't Google it up, don't look up. And I was trying to ask questions like, what does it mean? And she couldn't explain, she said, we will see geneticist in about a month's time, and then we just have to wait, And when I came out, the nurses knew, and they were just giving me cuddles, and they were, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, we're so sorry. I was like, well, it doesn't sound good, so obviously the first thing I did was Googling it up. And all I found out was children with this diagnosis, they die, basically they have 6 weeks, 1 year max. And that's all I knew, basically. So the first month was really bad, because whenever I went from hospital, I was doing Samuel at NICU, and I was thinking how much time do I have, And he was on feeding tube, he had heart condition. Before that, he was hypotonia, it was after 3 months, it was hearing loss and all the other conditions. And doctors couldn't really answer any questions, whenever we asked, they was well, hard to say, and they kind of were avoiding, because they don't want to tell you,
And what we couldn't really tell is the
Yeah, and then we basically met a geneticist, and he came from surgery clinic, and he gave us better news. He said, if he has heart surgery, I see no reason why you shouldn't leave for the case, but he would give us he basically said it's quite not as bad. So I guess that was quite comforting. We got quite good support, because we got in touch with hospice. We had quite a miss coming to visit Samuel every Wednesday. She would play to him a guitar and sing some songs.
That was during the war.
Yeah, that's why we were at NICU. And then we were discharged home after 3 months. Before his son was diagnosed, we were told he will have heart surgery when he's going to be 3 or 4 months old. Then COVID started. So it was really confusing, because when we came home, COVID started. We didn't really have any information, we didn't see anybody face to face. Everything was by phone, or everything was video appointments. We used to have physiotherapy over the video. where basically one of us had to hold the computer, the connection was really bad. So the appointments were basically not very useful. He was getting quite poorly first 2 years really of his life, or 1.5 years before his heart surgery, and that in hospital 2-3 times a week at A&E. Normally because he was really bad reflux, so like oral aversion, stopped eating orally. He was basically vomiting constantly. So it was a real struggle with his feeding tube because we were going from NG to NJ to PEG-J. Now he's being PEG-fed because he basically pooped out his J extension, like, so it's like, we sometimes spend like, months in hospital, like, because his feeding.
I think before he turned 2, he must have spent about a third or maybe half of his life in hospital. But it's not just because since he's turned 2, since he's got this wrong, it's only said half surgery.
Yeah, and so we're told basically, when we're going to hospital, we were going for, his heart surgery was basically constantly delayed. And then we were told, like, if you would have full trisomy, there would be any surgery. But because he was partial, they were not consider. And at that point, like, we started considering removing basically because my mom is in Czech Republic, we're thinking, if they say no, like, we can't really afford to go to America or somewhere, we just go to Czech Republic and we do it privately, we pay for the surgery. So there's no way we would basically, not go ahead. And I basically at point started coming up because I was worried about Samuel. We were told he needs to be supervised all night when he wasn't feeding tube. He used to take 27 medications a day at one point. And he had to supervise all night. So basically I was going to bed around 8 o'clock, waking up at 2 o'clock and we were taking turns. We were told as well by the earlier support worker we can't get any support like, with this. But we were asking for help, some kind of like carer or like somebody to help out because we were really struggling. We were in hospital on and off, sometimes like every 1 hour, 2 hours.
I think it's because there's 2 streams of funding, so you've got the NHS funding support for respite care and then you've got the social services funding. And we weren't really aware of the social services funding stream. So when we were asking for support initially, they were saying, you won't qualify because you're not clear, it doesn't have a oxygen at home because you won't make enough points consistent. So it's only after we were sort of kept very open and honest about what we were going through is that so I would say like point us in the right direction eventually to get a bit of support to help get out.
Yeah, so I got in touch with Soft and like basically I spent a lot of time on Facebook like getting in touch with like groups like like tube feeding groups like hypotonia, there's hypoglycemia, with trisomy families because we didn't really get many information from health officials like like they kind of like immediately they would say like we've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes to actually talk to you about. So we got like lots of support from from these hospitals because like they have time to sit down with you and explain things. We didn't know like we can get like social worker who can provide actually respite care. And we got respite care at the end after I said like I went to GP and I said well I need help and I'm having panic attacks, I didn't sleep much. So I think it's important like to go and ask for help, like don't talk to GP, talk to whoever you can, talk to basically on Facebook or like ask other people, other parents like what helps. Because we got some help at the end. And what else I did like it's not something doing great now. I mean in the beginning it was like first year before heart surgery it was all blurred because we were told he's gonna have heart surgery at 3 months, at the end it happened at 17 months. And after we were told he might not have surgery, I was like starting questioning, because of genetic conditions, our children being denied, surgery sometimes, it's kind of like, I've heard other parents who are not as lucky as us, who are basically just don't know. So I guess, I've seen, from some parents, they really do refer to, there's other certain things you can do, to talk to. So I think, information is it's important to know, on the social media sometimes, and meetings like this, talk to other parents and ask, for us, we were quite lucky because we were never told, Samuel can get help, right? So, from health professionals, from physio or nurses.
I think, just being in dialogue with everyone involved, because you don't really know, because he's got a complex condition, but then you don't really know what you need, what help you need. So when you meet someone, you've got to talk about to be honest, like, this is what we're going through, this is what happened, and we know this particular person who can help out, or we know this particular, or you can go into this department or this hospital to get extra additional help, really. So, and I think for me, as well, when it comes to the one that is stressed for me is particularly has been sort of like the paperwork side of things, really. It's like a looming monster. If you don't stay on top of it, it just gets bigger and bigger, sort of transformed into this sort of chaotic monster. You've got to manage that and try and live a life at the same time. It's a hard balance to kind of do it at the same time. So I really feel that it's something you kind of constantly struggle, battle with. It's never something that sort of goes away and it's hard to stay on top of, because I find the more you kind of try and live a normal life and socialise, then you kind of tend to leave that, and it gets bigger and bigger, and there's kind of elephant in the room, and so you just can't ignore it any longer, and then you have to really try and do something about it.
Yeah, we're hoping, for a good future for him. Basically, he has his PhD plan, he started to play group. He's enjoying actually playing with other children, obviously. Still kind of lots of, I guess it's kind of like when you're an freshman child, it's kind of like lots of, you kind of become a researcher as well, trying to watch dogs and injuries, look at the child matters, and we know roughly what children at an age should do, but obviously different for some.
It's like watching a child develop. When I was speaking to someone in the hospital a while ago, it's like watching someone develop in slow motion. It's like as though I think when you're looking after children develop at sort of a typical rate, is that they skip over all these milestones so quickly. But when the child comes up to knees, it all happens really slowly, and you're thinking, will they get there? Well, they won't get there. There's such a huge relief when you actually get there, and even when you're told they may reach a particular milestone, you're always sort of constantly questioning yourself. So it's always a bit of a psychological kind of game, really.
Yeah.
And also with getting support, everything takes a really long time. So you have to allow a lot of time to get things done. So like, so I'm trying to get Samuel sort of in support so he can be in the playgroup all by himself. I think I've been attending the playgroup myself since January, and although he's had the HCP plan all set up, like I think 3 months before January, still not had all the paperwork through the hospital, all the care plans, so they've not had all the training yet, so it's just starting to come through in October, and we've still not got all the care plans in place, so it's taken almost a year really, and we're not quite there yet. But as Jan said, we're really positive because he's developing physically and making progress, and so it's great that we can be optimistic, really.
Yeah, and as you can see, Freddie likes to be better, I think. Freddie, you want to say bye-bye to everybody?
I think it's been some sort of concern is how well they bond, and it's nice to see the bonding. I mean, it's in a sort of unexpected way, and you kind of worry about the implications. How's it going to affect the oldest? How's it going to affect the youngest? Because you've got developmental delay here, and you're thinking, well, what's it going to do to the old kids in the family? But it's nice that they're bonding finally, and but we'll take what we can get.
Yeah,
so I think that's all.
Yeah. Thank you very much.